I say Breath of the Wild is a great game by itself. I thought it was, like, good. I didn't think it was great. The combat's kind of weak. There's too much empty shit. Like, traversing is uninteresting. Exploring loses its luster after a while because you don't really find anything. Like, you find shrines and, like, oh, how exciting shrines are. All shrines are the same. They're like they're a disconnected puzzle environment for you to play around in. I fucking hit the wrong button. And after a while, like, the excitement of exploring the world of Hyrule kind of wears off on you. Yeah, you find things to do. You don't find things. I feel like my reward for exploring was to be pop quizzed, which is not conducive to, like, a good experience. There's also just, like, insane shit in that game, like the fact that there's a million fucking Korok seeds and, like, way too many shrines. There's so many of them because they want the average player to encounter a reasonable number of them throughout the course of a normal playthrough, but the problem with having so much repetitive bullshit in your video game is that someone will do all of it, and they will torture themselves in the process to accomplish this. Less is more sometimes, my dudes. Less is fucking more. At the end of it all, less can absolutely be more. But either way, Breath of the Wild is certainly not bad. Certainly not. I definitely thought it was a very... Like, I can't fault it either for trying to do something bold and interesting with an established franchise. Like, it definitely succeeded at shaking things up, which I respect. It's a game that actually tried new things. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like, on that basis, Breath of the Wild alone is worth playing. Because it's bold, it's fresh. Get some fucking life into this goddamn industry. It's like, even the AAA Japanese games I don't really get along that well with, even the Nintendo ones. Even I'm like, this is doing new things. This is like trying interesting territory. Putting that fresh spin on a worn genre as open world goes. See, that's why I have like a very divided opinion about Breath of the Wild. Like, divided to myself even, because on one hand, some things about Breath of the Wild are genuinely brilliant. Like, genuinely 300 IQ, this is excellent. Fucking, like, mwah. You will have moments in that game where, like, your brain will feel just the largest ever, because some series of systems will work in a way that's advantageous, and you'll be like, oh. You'll feel fucking good about it. I forgot the code already. I'm good at this game. But then on the other hand, you'll often do a lot of boring shit. So it's a game that I think is brilliant, but also somehow less than the sum of its parts. So I imagine being less than the sum of your parts. Ugh. You're always welcome to hear my dumbass long opinions about things that nobody ever likes my opinions on, Mexican Gus. Nobody ever likes my opinions on Nintendo games because I'm not, like, unconditionally in love with all of them. Or really, most of them. I often get accused of being a Nintendo hater a lot, which is always weird because I like Animal Crossing a lot. I don't know, I dislike Nintendo about as equally as much as I do anyone else. Which is still less than most Western game makers. My least favorite Nintendo franchise? I don't know, because there's probably some dumb dead one that they threw away ages ago. Probably Ice Climbers, because that shit polluted Smash Brothers. I don't know who fucking Nintendo is trying to kid when they keep trying to fucking, like, trick anyone into thinking Ice Climbers is worth a remote shit. 4506. What do I have against Ice Climbers? Ice Climbers is a fucking awful game. Like, go on the Nintendo Switch Online thing, right? It's just a fucking who's who of who gives a shit on there. This is what gets me, right? Is, you know, people you always have the collection of, like, the NES games. It's like, oh, Nintendo's best and brightest hits and all that stuff, and it's always got fucking Ice Climbers on it. It's like, why? Ice Climbers is such crap. There's all these games that's like, no one actually likes these games nowadays, surely. You have City Connection on the Switch system now, and it's like, who in the fuck wants to play City Connection in 2019? Or fucking tennis. Just tennis for NES. It's like, what are you doing? Actually, you know what? That gives me a distinct, definite answer to what my least favorite Nintendo franchise is. It's Mario Kart. It's definitely Mario Kart. Like, dead and cancelled franchises, like, that kind of comes and goes because they're bad. Mario Kart is a franchise that's so big that it has effectively ruined a genre. Every single fucking kart racer has stupid Mario Kart game design garbage in it now, which means I don't get good kart races anymore. Like, the last good kart racing game made was fucking Team Sonic All-Stars Racing, and then Team Sonic Racing came out, which, by the way, fantastic names. And it was full of a bunch of dumb Mario Kart bullshit. Like, dumbass power-ups that immediately target everyone in front of you, and it's like, okay, thanks, guys, everything sucks now. So why are you like this? I mean, Team Sonic Racing has problems in general. I don't like the team mechanic in that game. It doesn't work very well. It's canonized rubber banding is what it is. That's stupid. Just go fast. Sonic Racing Transformed. That Sonic Racing Transformed is the last good kart racer. That's what I've been saying. I probably didn't say it properly, but like Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed is the last good kart racing game. That game's mint. Mint fucking kart racer. And then the sequel to it is a highly stripped down, not super great sequel. That had a bunch of stupid Mario Kart bullshit in it because everyone has to win at least once in order to feel special. I dislike this immensely. That's why I dislike Mario Kart so much. It's like, it's one thing for, like, a lot of games in a genre to take after the popular stuff, because people get inspired by the games they liked as a kid. That's why there are a lot of, like, kart races that take inspiration from the Mario Karts, but Mario Kart isn't really, like, very good played multiplayer. You can time trial it, but people don't really play it against each other outside of a party setting for a reason. Because it's not very good for that. And as a result of that series' popularity, I don't get any games in that genre that aren't like that anymore, because everyone tries to copy the thing. And it sucks. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. Please just make normal kart racing games. I mean, I could also say similar things about Smash Brothers, but at the very least, like, normal fighting games are considered a distinct entity from that, so, like, that doesn't, like, cross-pollinate. But there are so many fucking weak as shit, like, middle-tier attempts at, like, Smash Brothers-esque games that have no merit to them whatsoever, and it's like, why in the fuck did you not just try and do this like a normal fighting game? You clearly don't know what you're doing. Especially in the indie scene, you see so many attempts at, like, Smash Brothers but for indies, and all of them are crap. Just all of them. Just make a normal fighting game. Like, fucking making a Smash Brothers-esque game is debatably harder. It also highlights what about Smash Brothers is so good if you play one of the bad knockoffs, because it's all in the subtleties, it's all in sound design, it's all in sparkly special effects, it's all in readability. It's all in the subtle details that those, like, imitators just don't get quite right. Because I like Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers is, like, fine. It's fun. I have, like, serious questions about its competitive status, but, you know, so does Nintendo. So we're on the same page regarding that. Like, I'm not one of those people who believes it cannot be played competitively. I am one of those people who thinks it has not been made for that. Like, almost deliberately so. Rivals of Ether is funny to me because it explains DI better than Smash Brothers does. That's one of the things that's always, like, bewildered me about Smash Brothers as a competitive game, right? Is that Smash Brothers is insanely popular, and there's always the rhetoric that, you know, like, oh, normal fighting games are too hard to get into, you know, we need tutorials and explanations and stuff for new players. Smash Brothers has no fucking tutorials, and its mechanics are often really esoteric. Like, DI doesn't seem that esoteric at first glance. If you hold a direction, you influence the direction you're traveling in and you get knocked away. That makes perfect sense. What's not intuitive is that if you get launched in a straight line, you should hold perpendicular. Because that's what diffuses the angle the hardest. That makes mathematical sense, but does not make intuitive sense. Shit like that will not come naturally to anyone who plays that game. You will have to look it up. There's a lot of shit that won't come naturally. There's a lot of shit you might not even fucking notice if you... Like, even if you play the game a lot, you might not notice. Like, move scaling is a thing. Use the same move too much, it gets weaker. You might not notice that. I don't know. Like, if you use a move a lot, you might eventually notice it. Some characters have fucking stupid bullshit attached to them. Like, in Brawl, Pokemon trainers' Pokemon had fucking type weaknesses. Which means attacks deemed fire type would deal more damage. Which is nutty. Who's gonna memorize that shit? Who's even gonna notice? You don't get, like, a flashy pop-up. Yeah, Brawl is bad. Let's maybe just ignore Brawl for the time being. Hi, Watsu. Ultimate. Okay. Aerials done out of a short hop do less damage. I remember this one. This is a new this is an ultimate thing. Apparently it's like this in every game actually, but still, aerials done out of the short hop macro do less fucking damage than just aerials in general. Like, good fucking luck noticing that. In most cases, that's, like, not even relevant, but it's there. Someone has deliberately put this into the game. Like, Nintendo has decided at some point, they've thought, with their brain, their big brain, that, like, short hop aerial should do less damage, and they made it so. It's like... This information is conveyed nowhere in the game proper. And it's like, it's not a trivial difference, but it's not like a large one either, so it's kind of difficult to notice. But it's the kind of thing that makes a difference, like, when you're, like, doing math and stuff. Smash gives the appearance of being easy, but it's actually very dense. Basically, this is me arguing against the idea of, like, that fighting games are too complex, and that's why they're not, like, popular with casual audiences. Because Tekken is super, super popular with the casual crowd in Europe, and Tekken's fucking hard as balls. Actually, no, that's a lie. That's like the greatest lie that mankind ever played upon themselves, is the idea that Tekken is hard. It's about as hard as any other fighting game. It is, however, quite dense. It's very dense. Tekken's a very dense game. Tekken requires different thinking from 2D fighters, which is always the thing that trips me. Like, I get tripped on the very basic thing in Tekken, which is that in 2D fighters, you know, you kind of default to crouch blocking when you're not really sure what to do. At least I do. Bad habit, I'm sure. But basically, you know, unless someone specifically does an overhead, crouch blocking will block. Tekken, opposite is true. Because crouch blocking does not block mids, which means you will get fucking launched. So I get tripped on that, like, by default. Which is a very noob kind of thing to do, but there you go. Like, I am not good at Tekken, my dudes. I'm not really good at any fighting game. You may have noticed I spend too much time doing speedruns to be good at a fighting game. If I wanted to get good at a fighting game, I would have to, like, you know, stop this and start, like, doing things. Yeah, that's what I mean. Tekken is dense. It's not necessarily hard, but Tekken is dense. Like, there's a lot to learn, and you'll always be tripping on some new shit. And you'll be tripping on some new shit you didn't know about for a long, long fucking time, because there's so much of it. It's one of those kind of games. Whereas other fighting games are not like that. Tekken has a long-ass legacy as well. That's kind of the funny thing about Tekken, right? Is that they're so dedicated to, like, the legacy and, like, the lore that they refuse to kind of rebalance things to a certain extent. Although Tekken is fairly well balanced. It's just that the Mishimas are good in, like, every game they're in because... not necessarily exclusively because, but in large part due to the fact that Electric Wind God Fist is so fucking good. And it is fucking good. But that move has been in the series since fucking 2, I think? 1? Does Heihachi have it in 1? I know Kazuya has it in 2. And because that move has now become, like, iconic to the way those characters work, they refuse to change how it works. Despite the fact it's, like, crazy good. Electric Wind God Fist. Does anyone in Tekken 1 have Electric Wind God? I know for a fact Kazuya has Electric Wind God Fist in 2. I don't know if Heihachi has it in 1. Like, I was playing Tekken 2 with Ricky at ESA, so, like, not that long ago, and we were marveling about the fact that in Tekken 2, you fucking die in, like, 2 hits. Like, that game is high damage as fuck. You get hit by one good launcher, and, like, you get hit 2 more times, you die. Counter hit, like, button does, like, a third health. I didn't split. I'm good at this. I got to see Sam Show. I didn't play it, though. I still think you die faster in Tekken 2 than you do in Sam Show. But you do die pretty fast in Sam Show. Like, there were... I saw my mates, like, throwing out buttons that when they connected did, like, 80% life, and I was like, holy shit. Do I watch much anime? Not particularly. Currently, I'm watching the best anime, known as The Amazing World of Gumball. It's also not an anime, it's Western. Oops. I finished Season 2 today. Have I seen High School Go? I've seen bits of High School Go, actually. Good. Enjoy Unist. Unist is fucking good. I love Unist. Unist is also a game I think is quite dense, but not necessarily that difficult. Like, Barrett, you will probably find it intimidating. Everyone finds French bread games intimidating at first because all the mechanics have really stupid fucking names. And, like, everyone when they first play Unist is like, what's this weird fucking bar of, like, squares at the bottom of the screen? It's like, that's grid, friend. That's grid. Once you kind of, like, speak the language of French bread's weird Chuunibyou bullshit, you'll realize it's actually, like, pretty clear what's going on most of the time. And I actually really like the grid mechanic. Like, it canonizes momentum. Momentum is a very abstract concept in fighting games. It's like, who has momentum? Who's, like, feeling the momentum, you know? Grid in Unist makes momentum a visible property on the screen that will then give you a buff. Unist does have a really solid tutorial. It will teach you lots of things. It will teach you fighting game basics. It will teach you weird esoteric bullshit, but it will also teach you really difficult combos, because honestly, Unist combos get kind of hard. But again, like I said, you will probably find yourself overwhelmed by the weird fucking naming scheme that French bread games use. Like, it's never just called a thing in a game. It's always called something stupid. Like, it's not meter, it's EXS. It's not a super, it's infinite worth. Yeah, it's not burst, it's veil off, although, like, veil off is only, like, sort of a burst. See, veil off has other functionality. That's kind of the thing, everything has functionality. Yeah, magic circuit, blood heat. The French bread games are always like that. It makes them a bit, like, confusing to parse at first, but once you, like I said, once you speak the language, it's like, oh, okay. It's like having a slightly weird uncle who says completely preposterous things, but he means really well. And is kind of cool. It's like, that's just Uncle French bread, don't worry about it. When he says magic circuits, he actually means meter. Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's the thing, is that I think that is precisely the aesthetic they design their games around. Like, Melty Blood and Unist have, like, intense Chuuni energy. Intense Chuunibyou energy. I've sat through the story mode of Under Night in Birth as well, because I'm a fucking idiot. And one of the characters actually is just a Chuunibyou. Like, the girl with the whip. That's her whole thing. She's a Chuuni. Like, literally the entire region she gets involved with the super-powered Hollow Knight that occurs once a month and people get fucking eaten during is because she's just kind of bored. She gets involved with it because she's kind of bored and she thinks it's cool. That's it. That's her whole plot. She is utterly inconsequential to the wider story, by the way. There is actually, like, a main plot line going on, and it really only concerns about half the cast. Like, Nanase is irrelevant to the larger picture, Byakuya is irrelevant to the larger picture, Phonon is irrelevant to the larger picture, Elnam and Akatsuki don't count. Mika is irrelevant to the larger picture. Wagner's, like, kind of relevant to the larger picture? I don't think that hit properly. Oh, no, it did. Well, I'll be damned. Thank you for wasting a shot, Heather. You're minus 10. I lost 5 seconds on missionary? What? Like, even Waldstein doesn't really... Like, Waldstein is definitely, like, central, but he doesn't really do much. The thing that weirded me the most about Yuna's story reading through it is that the protagonist is supposed to be Hyde. But Hyde perpetually has no idea what's going on. Like, Hyde is the epitome of someone who's important because the plot has just kind of arbitrarily declared him to be important. He doesn't actually have any idea what's going on, nor does he really care. He has no stake in it, he just kind of gets involved because. Like, the protagonist of Under Night in Birth is actually Linne. And despite that, I think the character with the most screen time during the story mode is fucking Chaos. Chaos is fun. Chaos is also a massive Chuuni dork. But he plays it off a lot better than the Whip Girl. Oh, BlazBlue has an intense Chuuni energy. I would not be surprised. Like, that's the aesthetic of these games. It's kind of why they turn people off out the door, is that, like, some people just can't get into that aesthetic. If I were being more aggressive about it, I'd say some people can't get over themselves for long enough to have fun with it. Ah, no, it's not the most universal aesthetic. Help. Hi, Glackham. The aesthetic of fighting games like Under Night in Birth and BlazBlue is that they are Chuunibyou as fuck. If you do not know what that means, then you are already too far gone for me to help you. Melty Blood, also Chuunibyou as fuck. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure Type Moon and French Bread are still on, like, pretty good terms with each other. Like, I'm pretty sure that they're still friends. Because, you know, they both hail from the Doujin scene and all of that. Hi, P. Thanks for artificially boosting my view count by sleeping. $8791. Siona's in Unist, yeah. Oh yeah, I actually forgot that, like, she has a whole story mode where she just goes around and makes constant references to the fact that she's not in Melty Blood. Her ending is that she literally crushes a mushroom in her hands. Which, you know, Kinoko, that's the joke. Yeah, you get the idea. Her ending is that she claims to be free from the shackles of Kinoko. But they constantly, like, blank her name out. Like, when they say type moon, they do the Japanese thing where they censor the middle two letters, so they say type moon. And, like, it's almost certainly a tongue-in-cheek joke. I reckon that if they actually wanted to hash the license out, they actually probably could have got her. But doing, like, not Eltnam was funnier. Because there are so many jokes that are, like, so close to home for being a Tsukihime reference that it's, like... They almost certainly would have a case if they, like, wanted to... Yeah, I reckon they're allowed to do it. Like, if they wanted to, they could, but it's funnier not to. Like, her being included at all is like a... Is clearly like a goodwill thing. You know, showing that they A, have not forgotten their roots, and B, they're still very much on, like, good terms. Because I read an interview with, like, the battle planner of French Bread. And he said he was not, like, interested in doing Melty Blood 2 necessarily. Like, he wants to distance himself from his Doujin roots and go, like, legit, so to speak. It seemed like he was, like, slightly embarrassed by the Doujin roots. But it seems fair enough that he'd want to try creating his own. Like, Under Night is actually still French Bread's only, like, HD game. It is sort of annoying how, like, due to being, like, stuck in the ways of the Doujin scene, though, they keep releasing new versions rather than, like... I think I would like French Bread to learn how DLC works. Because I'm a keep it real with you, French Bread. If you're expecting me to buy another version of Under Night for, like, full fucking price, again, for one new character and expanded lore, I'ma keep it real with you, fucking no. I like Under Night, I'm not stupid, though. That was a clean as shit mouse movement, by the way. I have a towel on a chair next to me. That's actually my DDR towel. That is the towel that rests on the chair that I use as a bar when I play DDR at home. Hey, Cynicism. So, yeah, Chuunibyou is the aesthetic where, like, a kid childishly pretends they have superpowers, except it's, like, grown-ass men doing it. And the joke is that they actually do have superpowers. Like, in Under Night, everyone actually does have superpowers, but it only manifests during one specific day of the month. What is this? Oh, that was the worst. Do I have Chuuni energy? Am I Chuuni? With this technique, I can go even faster. Whoa! Where the fuck am I? Hey, Demise. That's alright. You can play DDR in Pump. Now see here, you little Dude, I'm annoyed that, like, I can only play DDR when it's, like, daytime, because otherwise the neighbors get mad at me, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a home mat. Because I don't have time to do that during the week. I'm never awake during the fucking day during the week. I can only go on the weekends. Which reminds me, I gotta go. I'm going to the arcade this weekend, guys. I'm not streaming Saturday. Fuck you guys. I'm going to the arcade. They have a Dance Rush Stardom now. I have to play Dance Rush Stardom. It's necessary. They have a Dance Rush Stardom. Ah. I also think they have a Mai Mai now, although I don't really care that much, because Mai Mai hurts my fingers. I don't know what else they're getting. They have more games. I think they have Scotto now. Fucking Scotto. Yeah, they have a Dance for Stardom. Oh, Dance for Stardom. Which I want to play. It's the only active Bamani franchise I have not tried. Quick turn. Fuck. Also, I want to play DDR there more, too. I'm still on my quest to clear the 15 folder in DDRA. That's very achievable as well at my level. There are some 15s that will give me some shit, but, like, I reckon I can clear all of them without, like, breaking too much of a sweat. It's just... stamina is the thing, man. Like, I can't burn through too many 15s too quickly, otherwise I start to, like, falter really hard. And after that, move on to the 16 folder. And then die on the 17 folder, I guess, because I've passed 117 ever, and it's possession. So, you know, aiming high. I have not PFC'd a single fucking thing in my life, although I have one-grated a few things. I one-grated only my railgun and was super pissed off about it.
Welcome to the Borley Haunted Mansion. We're so glad you came. Please come inside.
I know, right?
And look around.
I'm not accurate. My timing is bad.
You're ready. Then
I disagree.
It's our anniversary. Stay awesome, punchy.
Thank you, Chuunibyou.
help.
Thank you for the 12 months.
Do you hear those voices? A family of 4 was sliced into bloody pieces.
Yeah, it's practice. I need to practice. I have bad timing.
The cries of the children. The murderer was caught.
But right now, my goal is to, like,
He said he killed his
clear the 15 folder, and
because
that's kind of like on the upper end of my difficulty limit, so I don't get to practice timing very much.
Anyway, I'm lying. It's all just a joke. I wanted to scare you.
Like, I'm more focused on trying to, like, survive rather
The
than
truth is, only
be accurate.
one person died by suicide. That's Danny.
Which are the 15? Most of them, honestly. I don't think I'm even, like,
As you can see,
more than, like, a quarter of the way into the folder. Maybe a fifth.
his hometown is New Orleans, but he came here.
I keep playing, like, a mixture of 15s and 16s every single time I go, so I don't end up actually making that much of a dent in either folder.
No. Where is the path to heaven? This mansion is quite old.
And then sometimes I get distracted doing... Oh. And then sometimes I get distracted doing stupid shit, like that one time I played Din Don Dan 4 times in a row because I was trying to FC every difficulty.
I assure you. There's the exit. I hope you enjoyed your tour. Please come back anytime.
I broke the pad playing Din Don Dan, by the way.
We could come.
That was where my session ended. I broke the pad playing Din Don Dan.
That was supposed to be the exit.
Like, not on purpose. Like, just that was the song the pad gave up on.
Everyone
Fat ass!
likes you. They want you to stay with them.
I weigh like 60 kilograms. Oh, I'm early. Fuck. Azure, thank you very much for the host. I broke the pad in the sense that, like, I made an arrow start sticking by playing Din Don Dan. Like, I FC'd challenge, and then started playing expert, and then fucking pad right arrow starts sticking, and it's like, what the fuck, man? I still have an FC Din Don Dan ESP, which is a 10. It's like, I can FC a 10. I went in reverse difficulty, of course. The CSP's a 12, and I FC'd that, like, sight read, so... Why did that go 1 over? It wanted to check if I was an expert. Penny dropped on what was called Jubeat. Okay, think about it. So you know Japanese to some extent, Azure, right? Consider how it's actually pronounced. Jubeat. Jubeat. Think about it. Think. Jubeat. Yeah, now that I know there's actually a reason that it's pronounced like that, I still think they spelled it wrong. You don't get it. Yubi is the Japanese word for finger. It's pronounced yubito because it's finger. It's yubi. Yubito. Fingers. Finger beat. Skill-based beat square. It's spelled Jubeat because they're stupid. See, I think they missed a massive localization trick with that one by just simply not localizing it with a U instead. Or a Y and calling it Ubeat, as in you, the beat. No! That's bad. I don't know what that did to the cycle. That can do very bad things to the cycle if you accidentally talk the fucking horse. Okay, it's fine. Jubeat. Jubeat. Jubito. Well, now that I've realized the name's a pun, I'm more inclined to say it properly. I still think spelling it with a J when romanized is intensely stupid, though. I don't think that connected properly. Okay, it did. How I say 2DX? IIDX! Fuck IIDX. Fuck 2 dicks. Game sucks. I'll show this double dicks. Get double dicked on. Fuck, I lost 4 seconds. What about poppin' though? Poppin' is just poppin', you know, there's no joke there, it's just poppin' music, dude. Burger slapper! Poppin' is a really weird game now. Like, it's, with DDR getting more and more, like, of the Sound Vortex and 2DX guys in on this track list as of A20, you kind of have, like, it's like that meme with the hands, right? You've got, like, you have 2DX, you've got DDR, you know, like, they're uniting. And Dance Rush is getting in the mix as well now. Like, it's all becoming, like, one ecosystem with those 4 games. Where they're having, like, similar artists doing similar tracks in similar styles. Ow. And then you have, like, poppin' music off in the corner, like, doing whatever the fuck it wants still. Like, all the other music games just kind of staring at Poppin' being like, the fuck are you doing? And Poppin's like, I'm doing Poppin' things. And the rest of the Bomani franchises are like, okay. Like, they don't invite Poppin' to when they go out. But Poppin' shows up sometimes anyway. Like, they can't bring themselves to kick Poppin' out when they show up uninvited, but they don't invite Poppin' on purpose. I think it's because they're all secretly scared of Poppin', because Poppin's actually hard as fucking balls. Yeah, a lot of Bomani musicians actually have Twitter. Like, you tweets all the time, fucking Camellia tweets all the time. Like, a lot of them tweet about their work. Some of them are impossible shitposters. I think probably my favorite trait of the new wave of Bomani musicians, particularly the contributing artists to 2DX, is that a lot of them are really good at 2DX. Like, a lot of them have DJ in their artist aliases because that's the format that 2DX usernames use. Is DJ and then name. So, like, you have DJ Genki, who I think is a Kaiden player. Like, a lot of the new 2DX contributing artists are Kaiden rank. It's like, where do you find the fucking time, man? By all means, post a Poppin' meme. Music game memes are always acceptable. Oh god, I think I know. I know the image as well. A classic. I know from the fucking URL what it is. Is it the one with the stretchy fingers? Because that one always fucking kills me. It is the stretchy finger. Oh no, the door! I need to stop laughing. I'm turning into Paul. The game is intuitive. I've seen players do the forearm, like, smack 4 buttons at once thing. I've seen people do forearm smack for Musica. Like, they put their forearm above the lower 2 buttons to spin it with their arm, rather than, like, spinning it with their hands. Like, that's Musica technique, is to do the fucking... It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Fucking Musica players on their bullshit. That's not where that goes. Actually, yes it is. I wish I was better at doubles, but doubles is really hard. I feel like doubles is underrated, but then I play doubles and I find out why it's underrated, because it's really hard. Why don't more people play doubles? I ask, screaming. No, I like doubles. They're lots of fun. But I wish doubles liked me more. Since doubles always seem to result in my untimely death. By the way, that was killer. I fucking nailed that. Bruh. I did like 2 runs today and they were both good. What the hell? Imagine if I hadn't lost time to laughing at the finger stretch meme. No, the finger stretch meme cost me the sub 35. Right, I'm gonna ban Zella for that. You fucking meme cost me my sub 35, you son of a... Nah, that's tight. Nice missionary kill. Nice Leonard kill. Mediocre. Alessa actually lost. Yeah, Alessa was bad. I like this time though. That's good.